Welcome back to our video series on estate planning. My name is Thomas A. Bushnell. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in Idaho, Washington, and California. This is the final video in this series, and this is the big reveal. If you have not watched the earlier videos, this video will not make sense to you. So I encourage you to go back and watch the earlier ones before you see the big reveal here on how you can get long-term care if you need it. You can pass on $878,000 to one of your children, and we can avoid the Medicaid look back. So here's how we do it. We have a timeline here. And in this particular timeline, the most important, and this is for Idaho law specific, there are similar things in Washington and California, but you're going to need to get an estate planning lawyer in Washington or California, or if you're in Oregon, wherever it is, who understands estate planning to help you navigate this. I'm going to give you information that's specific for Idaho, but it'll get you some idea of what's going on. Here in Idaho, under the adaptive code, if you get a letter from your doctor, my doctor wrote me a letter, and this letter says, but for one of your children living with you in your home, you would need to be in a skilled nursing level care facility. That's a nuance. It doesn't say you have to have skilled nursing. It's basically saying you can't live on your own anymore. And after you get this letter, and I have the adaptive code and letters pre-formatted to give to your doctor, and they of course have all sorts of boxes for them to check, and they have to use their independent professional opinion. But if in their independent professional opinion they believe you need to be in a skilled nursing facility, or you have to have someone live in your home with you so you can stay in your home, if that's the case, then a magic window opens. This is a 2-year window, 24 months, 2 years. It goes like this. If one of your children or stepchildren, not niece, not nephew, not grandchild, if one of your children or stepchildren live in your home with you for 2 years for the purpose of keeping you out of long-term care, a skilled nursing care level facility, and they live there for 2 years with the purpose of keeping you out, and they do keep you out, as long as you otherwise qualify, at the end of those 2 years, you can get long-term care or assisted living as long as you otherwise qualify there, and there is no estate recovery. There's no 5-year look back. What's going on here? Here's what's going on. This is a public policy idea that I think is a good one. And it goes like this. This may be radical to some people, so please don't be offended, but here it is. Ready? Children should take care of their parents. Oh, what do you know? And if you do, it works like this. At $8,000 a month over 2 years, what does that come out to? Is that 8 times 8 is 60, 8 times 40 to 30. Is that $192,000? Okay, I believe that's going to, you can check my math. At least it's going to be a little closer than Brian Williams. And if you don't get that one, you have to look it up. So it saved the taxpayers about $192,000 over a 2-year period. What they're saying is this house here that you're living in with your child can be gifted to that child up to a value of $878,000. Do you remember that number from the earlier video? If not, go back and watch the earlier video on Medicaid eligibility. That's where this number comes back here. You can deed this house to this child who's living in your home for up to a value of $878,000, and then you can go into a nursing home after those 2 years, and there's no Medicaid look back, there's no estate recovery. So this is a really good plan, but for one child can take advantage of it. Right now you may be saying, hey, but my house is only worth $120,000 or $220,000 or $400,000. Okay, fair enough. Let's say that you have a house that's worth $400,000 or any amount for that matter. Remember on the Medicaid eligibility video, we talked about countable and excluded assets. What if you have a countable asset of an investment account? And let's say that one is worth $400,000 in your investment account. Well, if you gift this house to this child, at the end of this time, you're still not eligible. So we've kind of blew it, didn't we? But wait. What if you sell your house that's worth $400,000, cash in your account that's worth $400,000, put those together, buy an $800,000 house, have your child come live with you in that house. They need to take care of you for 2 years, otherwise there would be a state recovery. They take care of you for 2 years, and guess what? They invest their time for 2 years, save the taxpayers $192,000, and their return on investment in this case is $800,000. Now that's some good investing. Investing in your parents to take care of them so the taxpayer doesn't have to, and the government will reward you. Good deal, win, win, win. Not illegal, not immoral, not unethical. Public policy, it's what the government actually would like you to do. Take care of your family. And if you do that, you can put it all together. But wait, you're saying, no way. I live in North Idaho. There's no way my child's going to come up from California and live here in North Idaho. And you say, there's no way I'm going back to California. Never say never. I just said never. Here's the deal. One thing in life is true. Things change. They always do. They always will. Your life will change. Your spouse will pass away. Okay? You will get older. You will be not as have as much vim and vigor as you had when you were younger. If that happens and your spouse passes away before you and you get older and you're tired of the feet of snow, okay, and you need someone to help you, you could go down. If your child has a mortgage on their house, you could go buy their house. $800,000, if that's what you have in this particular scenario. You could buy their house, deed it right back to them as long as they take care of you for 2 years. They keep you out of long-term care. At the end of that 2 years, then you can go into long-term care. Here's the bet the government's making. The bean counters. The girls and boys in the back room who are counting the beans are betting on this. It's like one sure way to never lose at the lottery, don't play. Okay? But here's what the bean counters are doing. They're saying from the time you get this letter saying you need skilled nursing level facility care, you're not going to live 24 months. We're banking on it. And so you can go ahead and take care of them. In that 24 months, you'll most likely pass away and you'll never end up in long-term care. At the end of the 24 months, many children get so used to taking care of their parents, they don't want them to go into long-term care. So it encourages people to take care of their parents. But if you do, and you outlive the bean counters and you make it 24 months, then you can get into long-term care and your kid gets the house up to a value of $878,000. There's another one that's like this, that's for siblings. With a sibling, a brother or sister, let's say you have no children, but you've got a brother or sister that's living with you. If they have an ownership interest in that house, remember this is Idaho law now I'm specifically speaking to. If they have an ownership interest in this house, it doesn't matter how much percent, it just says ownership interest. And they live in that house with you for 1 year before you go into long-term care, you can deed that house to that sibling. That's a good deal. The other ones is if you have a child who's blind or disabled, and they have very much a criteria for what disabled means, you could gift the house to that child. Now, granted, there could be a Medicaid lien against that child, and eventually Medicaid would get it, but it would have a place for that child who has special needs to stay. So there's the children's exception for 2 years, the sibling exception where they have an ownership interest for 1 year before they go into long-term care, and another exception for blind or disabled children. This is the big reveal. This is how you can take your house and your estate up to $878,000, gift it to one of your children. Now, if you have more than one child, I can only take care of one here. We can't take care of the others. But if someone's willing to stop their life and come take care of you, the government's willing to say they can be rewarded and rewarded well for that. Thank you for listening to these videos. If you need some estate planning, come on down to my office or give me a call, 208-267-9321. If you're out of state or out of the area, we can set up a video conference in Idaho, Washington, California, and go through your estate plan and make a good estate plan for you. Remember, we're going to do what we say we're going to do, when we say we're going to do it, at a flat rate price that you can count on. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.